Can you clean up the supposed suppression of women in Islam? Let me just say this, that I invite every person, I invite every woman here, every non-Muslim woman here, to stand to the side when we leave here and talk to a Muslim lady. I mean, now, let's not ask Barbara Walters about how Muslim women feel. You know, let's not ask Tom Brokaw how Muslim women feel. Let's not ask CNN, ABC, Fox. Let's not ask the London Times or the Australian Times. Let's not ask non-Muslims about how Muslim women feel, how they live, what are their principles, what are their challenges. If you want to be fair, ask a Muslim woman. Ask my wife. Ask my mother. You see? Ask a Muslim woman that knows her religion, who has a relationship with her Creator, who is stable in her society, understanding her responsibilities, her relationships. Ask her. And after that, I think you should be fair, that you don't need to ask someone else. But the problem is, no one really wants to ask Muslim women. We want to take pictures of women in Afghanistan, and pictures of women in Palestine, and pictures of women in Pakistan, and pictures of women over here, and we want to listen to what people say about female circumcision, as if Muslims got women, 1,000, 10, 30,000, 40,000 Muslim women all over the world is being circumcised. Some crazy Steven Spielberg stuff. And let me give you a statistic that you should know about. If you take a quota in this room right here, I'll tell you this. Most every Muslim woman in this room will be a college graduate, or is a college graduate, or is very intelligent and very much socially endowed. And within her family structure, we find that women control the wealth more so than men. Now, what does that say to you? Now, where you find women oppressed, women exploited, women mistreated among Muslims, that is because those Muslims themselves are not representing the principles of the religion. And in every religion, you've got black sheep. But then again, you can't tell me that the 148,000 prostitutes that walk the streets in the UK, or the 76,000 prostitutes that walk the streets of Holland that have licenses to do so, you can't tell me that all these little young naked little girls walking around Australia with no clothes on, you can't tell me that they represent liberation. You can't tell me that the 2,350 abortions, murders that take place with these young women, you can't tell me that that represents sophistication. You can't tell me that that represents liberation. You can't tell me that a naked woman sitting on a chocolate bar, a naked woman selling everything, toothpaste, everything, you can't tell me that doesn't represent exploitation. So let's put things in context. Let's talk about things correctly, and let's be fair, and let's be objective. We can talk about that a little bit more if you want to. And let me give you one more statistic. One more. Prostitution, venereal disease, abortion, and pedophilia. And this horrendous number of children being raped and kidnapped that exists in the Western world. It is almost unheard of in the Muslim world. So I think that the statistics kind of like speak for themselves.
Yeah, tell me about the issue that gets a lot of people really exercised, you know, gender segregation in public places. Some people see that happening and they get infuriated. They see it as being, if you'll allow me to say, they see it as being absolutely contrary to Western liberal society. Yeah. We're sitting here, we're free mixing. It's all fine. So what?
I'm happy with it.
Right.
I have no problem with it.
What's the argument for gender segregation? Because you know it's a lively debate, that.
It's not really big debate, and to be honest, it's not a topic that should be even discussed.
It's not a topic that should be discussed.
Because let me explain one thing. Muslims are being singled out for every single practice that they've been doing. So why is that? You know, when we talk about women and domestic abuse, when we talk about domestic abuse, 2 women in England are being killed every week. Yet we don't ever mention that. We don't associate it with any faith or race or anything.
We discuss domestic violence on a regular basis.
You know what? They are forcing segregation, which is not true. There are like women-only events.
It's brown, it's black.
There are like, you know, some Muslim women. Can I just finish?
She gives is contradictory to the clothing you wear.
Well, she's allowed to wear what she wants to wear.
Choose what she wears.
I take your point about some things that are underplayed and not reported on, but it is an issue. Adam Dean, Sahar, you did make your point, but Adam Dean, there are political meetings and people are separate, and Sahar says it's not an issue that should be discussed because there are other issues. Well, believe you me, we do discuss those other issues,
It's not a big issue within the Muslim community.
Well, it's an issue for other people,
though. There are
like
women-only events that women chose to organise it that way, and they wanted it to be that way.
But in public spaces, people, do you respect people who find it offensive?
Why are we
talking? Why? Actually, can I just say, we've developed a women consortium in Leeds, 13 women's organisations, they're not Muslim organisations, came together and they wanted to be together. Why is it done? Women feel comfortable, so it's not a problem
to be that way.
Tamina, what's going on here with this? Because it's an issue, we should discuss it, because a lot of people find it offensive. A lot of people cannot understand why those find it offensive, because there's women only this, there's men only this, but this is forced gender segregation. That's how people see it. Is it a problem?
It is a big problem, and for me,
it's a choice. She says it's a choice.
Is it a choice when it takes place in a public university? No, it's not. It's one small group of people enforcing their own brand upon others who don't agree with it, and that's exactly why it has to be resisted.
When you say force, like, do they have
then
like
when a public body like
universities
UK gives credence to narrow and conservative interpretations of Islam unchallenged,
what do you mean force, though? Sahar's just saying, and I'll come back to you, Sahar. Sahar's just saying, no, I don't know if you caught it. She's saying, what do you mean force? Is the policeman outside? Are the policemen corralling it? Are the security people saying, you sit there and you sit there?
No, but the conditions are created so that anybody who dissents or who doesn't, who publicly opposes this particular interpretation of Islam is treated as a pariah, and that has to stop. The sort of progressive interpretations need to be given greater space in Muslim discourse, which is not happening at the moment.
Do you know why this?
Sahar.
I said it's not a theological thing. It's a preference. Some women chose to be to that event.
Excuse me.
It's not forced.
Excuse me, everyone.
It's not forced. Look, I am.
Afshin, I'll be with you in a second. Sahar.
Yes. Thank you.
What would you like to say?
Okay, well, I wanted to say that forced segregation, it's not really a big issue within the Muslim community. There are so many mixed events that Muslim women are happy to go to.
Let me put this to you. It's one of those things. Let me put this to you, please. I understand. Let me put this to you, please. Some people see...
Why are we demonizing Muslims? Why are we demonizing them for certain practices? That is very right.
I want to ask you a question. Do you understand? Do you have respect for people who see it and see it as... I'm not saying I do, I'm not saying... who see it as inimical to our society when they see the men and the women in public space, university or whatever, sitting apart. Do you respect their position?
What I want to say that we need a mutual understanding. I want to know, why did she come to this view? Did she really attend this event? Has she interacted with these women? You know, I wanted to know that. How did you actually conclude that?
Let her answer the question.
Because, like, a lot of women chose to wear with their own, chose to sit within their own group in a venue out of their choice.
Let her answer the question.
They don't want to be with
university's
men.
Islamic
so
society.
Why is it a problem that they don't want
Let her answer the question.
You know, if you were in a restaurant,
I had to
sitting on a table,
let her please answer the question.
I had to sit in a gender-segregated event at a university Islamic society where I couldn't even ask questions because it was deemed to be immoral. I had to ask my question on a piece of paper and give it to someone to take up to the panel.
Audience in a second. Now, Sahar, please. Adam Dean.
Yeah, I think it's important to say that the problem does exist, and it is a sort of obsession with sex. There is a type of reading of Islam that's obsessed with sex and the potential situation where you may, suddenly have some sexual encounter with some woman.
Wow. Guys, I'm so speechless. I don't even know what to say because I don't know why this particular issue or topic is something that most people do deliberate on. As long as a Muslim woman has claimed that they are not forcing them to do what they do, then I don't think they are being oppressed. A Muslim woman wearing an hijab, she's not forced to do so. She believes based on her religion is what is accepted in Islam. So this whole issue of oppression is not something that non-Muslim should deliberate on, because I feel like every religion has its own doctrine. That's the doctrine of Islam. A Muslim woman was dressed decently or modest, and she must always wear a hijab. That's how it is. So most people see it as an oppression, but it is not. There are some few Muslim ladies that do not wear the hijab 247, especially when you're in your house. You don't need to wear it 247, but it's something that their religion accepts and they follow what Allah says. So oppression for me, it's a no when it comes to Islam. I don't know what non-Muslim or people found as oppression, or what they mean by oppression, in what aspect, because it's good to dress decently. Well, let me know your point of view, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.